We had a big trade. Well, kind of big. Derrick Rose got sent to the Knicks again. The Knicks sent Dennis Smith Jr. and a second round pick to the Pistons for Derrick Rose. How do you feel about this?
Oh man, I'm so happy for Dennis Smith Jr. I really am. I truly am. Dennis Smith Jr. once averaged 15.2 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists per game, and one steal. That was in his rookie year. He got second team All Rookie. The dude's only 23. He has so much like talent and so much youth left. I mean, my thing is, I always felt bad for Dennis Smith Jr. because he was good with his rookie year and all that. But he got outshined by a generational talent, Luka Doncic. Sent him over to New York. New York didn't really know what to do with him. Kind of sent him to the doghouse. He requested to actually play in the G League before he got traded, and then the Knicks were going to I'll give him, you know, agree to that request. But luckily, God bless, they sent them over to the Pistons, which they need a point guard with Killian Hayes injured for a while. I really hope to see. I think we'll see Dennis Smith Jr. play soon. That team needs some depth in the backcourt. No offense to DeLon Wright, he's doing a fairly okay, decent. I mean, the Pistons are like 5 and like 17, 18. So, take that as you will. They're not a very good team. I think they're actually the worst team in the NBA now, record wise. But I'm just glad for Dennis Smith. I really hope to see him kind of elevate his game back to where we used to see it. Like I said, he's still so young. He still has a lot of time to grow. I'm just happy for him. I like that part of the trade. I'll let
Yeah,
you.
as happy as you are for Dennis Smith, I'm as happy for Derrick Rose. I mean, he finally gets to leave the Pistons and gets to, the Knicks are in a weird spot. They're kind of sniffing the playoffs right now. They're like a shark in the water, like smelling blood. And they get a single whiff of that like playoff smell, and they're like, "Yo, we need to make moves right now. Like, we need to get to the playoffs." So they just immediately pushed for Derrick Rose, and it's not a bad deal. I mean, I think that it's funny that Derrick Rose is going back to the Knicks. They were one of the first teams to take a chance on him after Chicago basically gave up on him. And yeah, I feel bad for Dennis Smith Jr. It, it hasn't helped his confidence at all. He's been traded. I think every year he's been in the league, he's been traded to a different team. So that doesn't really help a young guy's confidence. Not playing him much doesn't really help his confidence, but he's going to get minutes on this Detroit Pistons team. Killian Hayes hasn't really been super impressive so far. We'll get into that on another podcast. We'll make a little rookie report card. Uh, Killian Hayes hasn't been super impressive, and he's injured. He's out for the season, I believe. So Dennis Smith Jr. is going to have a big opportunity to step up. This is his moment to step up and show what he can do. I don't think he's going to take this lightly. I think he's really going to work at it. And just what you just told me earlier is he requested to go to the G League. He knows he needs minutes. He knows he needs reps. He's still working hard at it. He's not slacking. He's not giving up. So I really respect that from Dennis Smith Jr. And it's not a bad trade for either side. I just hope that Derrick Rose doesn't stunt Emmanuel Quickly's development, because
Okay.
Quickly's doing really, really good over there in New York right now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to next. I was gonna say I was afraid when I first saw the trade. I was afraid for that, but then I kind of saw it in a different way. I felt like Rose was more of a transitional piece. Like
Mhm.
while quickly still developing, they'll play Rose to kind of help mentor him. Little did I know until I did some research. They both actually played for Coach Cal when Derrick Rose was at Memphis, and obviously when Quickly was at Kentucky. So they both have that slight connection. So they know how the game works because they were brought up by one great coach in Coach Cal. And I saw a report that Rose already sat down and talked with rookies Obi Toppin and Quickly, and he pretty much told them, "Hey, I'm just here essentially to help you guys and help you guys grow as players." So I think Rose is just pretty much the mentor to help kind of elevate Quickly's game if he can. My thing is with Rose being there now, backcourt is kind of crowded with Quickly, Rose, and Elfrid Payton. I see Elfrid Payton probably getting the boot eventually because I know he's going to want minutes. always feels like he kind of wants minutes, but he's not really producing as much as Quickly is. I feel like when it comes to Elfrid Payton, he kind of disappears and then has one really good game and then disappears for a couple more games. So Derrick Rose, this was a good trade for him, like you said. You know, Also just to mention some stats when he was last in New York to kind of get some context, he averaged 18 points per game, 4.4 assists, 3.8 rebounds, on 47% shooting, and he also played 64 games that season, which is a lot for him. Tom Thibodeau always gets the most out of Rose, in my personal opinion. So I mean, we'll see. I think he'll be a good. I think as a transitional piece, if they keep him at that role, I think this is a really good trade for the Knicks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Just I like that he's trying to be a mentor to the young guys. I saw a clip of Obi Toppin demanding an alley oop for like 10 minutes, and they didn't give him a single look. But I'm sure Derrick Rose will help a little bit on that. Man, I love Derrick Rose kind of sliding into this mentorship role as he gets older. And to be honest, my only concern is with Tom Thibodeau is like, is he going to play Rose into the ground again and just make quick? Is he? I feel like he might, go back to playing Rose like 30 minutes a game and then make Quickly play like maybe like 10 as like a backup. But that's my only concern. It's nothing to do with Derrick Rose himself taking over. It's to do with Tom Thibodeau and how he plays. But yeah, this is a solid trade for both teams. I got nothing really much else to say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll have to see how. I want to see if Dennis Smith Jr. can pretty much take back the reins and try to get back to where he used to be as a rookie and as a sophomore, and just kind of see if he could try to develop. Because I feel like when it comes to Pistons, they're such a bad team. They're just gonna let them play essentially,
Yeah.
and they're not really playing for anything. So maybe he'll ball out when he has the opportunity. Maybe if he can. I mean, I know he's saying getting traded is not really good. I don't really see the Pistons having much building blocks. Maybe if he plays well enough, he can find himself getting traded elsewhere for to a better team where he can actually do more damage and actually help that team win. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes the next few weeks.